There are 4 levels to scaling to $100,000 a month on YouTube. And after helping people like Joel, Eric, Chandler, and many others scale to over $100,000 a month, we see people over and over getting stuck at 4 main points on the path to scaling to 7 figures on YouTube. The first that keeps them below 10K a month, the second that stops them from hitting 25, the third that holds them back from 50, and the last one which is required to go from 50 to 100. The problem is that most business owners don't know what each of these problems are, which keeps them stuck because they're spinning around in circles wondering why they can't scale. And I'm about to show you what they are and how you can fix them, so whatever level you're at, you can start scaling your coaching or consulting business on YouTube. Let's dive in. So the first level keeps you from hitting around 10K per month. And the difference between a 10K per month channel and a channel that makes $0 is simply this one thing. So to go from 0 to 10K a month on YouTube, you simply need to understand the YouTube basics. Now, what are these? Well, the first is titles. And when we're looking at titles and thumbnails, which is the 80-20 of YouTube, that's the most important thing on YouTube, you really just want to look at Alex Hormozi's value equation. And what that is you have 4 parts to that, right? You have the perceived likelihood of achievement, you have the dream outcome, you have the time delay, and you have the effort and sacrifice, right? So what we're trying to do is just optimize all 4 of those parts. So for example, your title could be how to make $10,000 a month dropshipping fast. So that hits on 2 out of the 4 elements, right? Where it's like how to make $100,000 a month, that's dream outcome. And then you have fast, which is time delay, right? So that's a way to optimize your title that targets your prospect in a way that takes advantage of that value equation and makes it seem like a very valuable video. Because to get to that 10K a month kind of level, you just simply need to get people on your videos and actually get them watching you. You want to at least have the absolute basics of YouTube down. And this is really what holds people back from getting to that first level, because they're simply making content that no one watches. And it's okay if you make content that is raw. You don't need to make this high production edited kind of style of content. You can make raw content, but you still need to understand the YouTube basics. This still applies, and actually this applies even more for that raw style of content. In your thumbnails, in a raw style thumbnail, you need to create curiosity. You need to show that dream outcome. You need to show these things, because what you have to understand is human psychology applies whether you have edited content or whether you have raw content. And to get to this first level, to kind of break through that $0 mark and get your first couple sales on YouTube, you really just need to master the basics, right? And that comes down to practice. That comes down to watching a channel like this, right? That comes down to watching my main channel, which is Amplify Views, right? And this is really the first thing that we have to work through with our clients, is getting them to understand how to do the YouTube basics, right? And this is why people work with us, right? Because we just give them the actual titles, thumbnails, ideas, and all of the YouTube basics that will actually start to make them money. And this is kind of the first step in building a really successful channel that generates a lot of high ticket clients from it. So mastering this is key. Really what it comes down to is your ideas, your titles, your thumbnails, your scripts, your intros, your editing, making sure that all of that is up to standard and is tailored in the right way. That doesn't mean you need to have great editing. It means you need to have the right editing. It doesn't mean you need to have great scripts. It means you need to have the right scripts. Scripts that actually convince your prospects that you know what you're talking about, that build authority and create scarcity, urgency, and actually get them to pull the trigger on your product, depending on your content strategy, whether you're someone who wants to build a personal brand or just make sales. So that is the first step on this path to scaling to 100K a month. Then to get to the next level, which is around 25K per month, this is typically where we see kind of the next level of people getting stuck, and they can't really overcome this problem until they build a conversion mechanism. If you don't have an active, reliable conversion mechanism built out on your channel, it's very hard to scale past 25K per month. Simply, you have nowhere to push people where they actually go to buy, right? Where they go turn from a viewer into a buyer. And that conversion mechanism obviously have a lot of things attached to it. It needs you to install realities, which is one of our strategies that we talk about with a lot of our higher ticket clients. And what this conversion mechanism is, it can be one of 2 things. And this could really be a VSL kind of video where you essentially make a video that's meant to turn someone from a viewer into a buyer over the span of 10 to 25 minutes, basically taking someone who's essentially unaware or maybe even problem aware and turning that person into someone who's solution aware, and then connecting you towards that solution, which makes them product aware, and then basically bringing them down this awareness chain to where they are now ready and they trust you and they are in their most aware state where they are ready to buy from you. So you're basically taking them through all 5 stages of awareness. It's a very, very powerful thing to do. So that's one way to do it. That's one conversion mechanism mechanism that you could implement. One of the more advanced ones that we actually recommend a lot of our clients who can do it to do is the free course funnel. And this is one thing that we have seen work extremely well for the people who have implemented it. The only problem is that it takes a lot of effort up front, but that's the beauty of it too, because you're essentially able to outcompete the market and provide more value than everyone else. So what this funnel is essentially giving away an entire free course, whether that be a 1-hour free course, which is what a lot of our clients will do just to keep it a little bit easier. Or if you really want to go hard on it and build an extremely successful funnel, you can make an 8-hour course. You can make a 12-hour course. You can even make like an 18-hour course, right? So for our funnel that we run, we do a 6-hour course, right? And that has printed us over $500,000. That exact same funnel has also made some of our clients like Joel over $6 million from YouTube, right? Which is just absolutely insane. So that is probably the most effective funnel right now because it's essentially out competing the entire market, just because the majority of people are not willing to put in the time to make a course and give it away for free, right? It's just a little bit difficult. So that is the conversion mechanism. As soon as you have that, you'll pretty much, as long as you have the YouTube basics down. By the way, if you get the conversion mechanism, but you don't have the YouTube basics down, you're still going to be stuck at this first level. If you do any of these things up here and you don't yet have the YouTube basics, you need to get those down first. That's very important. Once you have both of these things, you should be at around 25K per month. And then it really comes down to building out a content team and starting to scale your content in order to get to around 50K per month. And this is really the point where we start to see people have a lot of financial success with their YouTube channel. They're adding 50K a month to their bottom line. They're adding 50K in net profit, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And not to mention the performance on ads as well, right? Like when you build a proper content ecosystem, if you're doing over $100,000 a month already through paid ads, this can just make your ads so much more effective because you build a lot more trust. Prospects spend a lot more time with you, and you're essentially just building an entire trust ecosystem that you can weave into your paid ads. So the content team is really what's necessary to double your business from 25K to 50K. Sure, there are a few exceptions here and there, but really if you want to scale, getting a basic content team in place is by far the highest leverage thing that you can do. If you're spending 3 to 5K a month on a content team and making back 50, that's a very good investment, right? And you can't get to 100K plus without a good content team. So what I would really recommend is keeping it very lean to start. Start with a thumbnail designer. That's like $50 a month. Start with a basic video editor. That way you can remove yourself from the editing process, right? That's maybe $1,000, $2,000 a month. Hire a strategist. Work with someone like me or hire someone else if you don't like me for whatever reason. But you need someone to tell you exactly what kind of content you need to make that will actually get you results. And a strategist is the person that does that, right? So that would be someone who comes in, gives you the exact video ideas that you need, gives you the exact titles, gives you the exact thumbnail concepts, writes the intros for you, makes sure that your videos are structured in the proper way to, for one, get traffic, but two, turn that traffic into actual buyers. That's a very important part of the whole ecosystem. So if you have those three, you can also scale this even farther with short form editors. You can scale this farther with script writers, animators, whatever it may be, right? And this is a very important step because this is essentially removing you from that process, which allows you to make more and more content and scale volume, right? Because to go from 25 to 50K, you just need to be posting more volume. That's really the answer. Like you need to be posting more volume, getting to ideally 3 videos a week. That's the sweet spot. 3 videos a week is a perfect place to be. After that, there starts to be some diminishing returns when you start getting to about 4 or 5 videos per week. However, 3 videos, you don't see that many diminishing returns and your channel basically grows 2 to 3x as fast. Very important. Now, the biggest problem is that most people get stuck at these levels because they don't know what they are or they don't know how to solve them. Like they don't know how to hire a content team. They don't know how to build a conversion mechanism. They don't know how to build a VSL video. And they don't understand the YouTube basics because honestly, a lot of these things take a while to learn. It'll probably take you a lot of trial and error to build the right conversion mechanism on your channel. And you'll probably have to hire, fire, and you'll end up wasting a lot of money when you start to build a content team. And this can really be a problem because it just means you move a lot slower. And if you're a business owner, you know that moving with speed is the most valuable thing you can do. Those who move the fastest and make progress the fastest are the ones who win. And that's exactly why we have our accelerator program, because we can essentially identify these bottlenecks when they pop up. And again, these are 4 of the basic bottlenecks that happen to most people, but there's also a lot more, right? There's a lot of little ones that pop up here and there that can keep you stuck as well. It's very helpful to have someone on your team who can identify those bottlenecks for you, fix them as they come along, and then allow you to keep scaling without friction, wasting a ton of money, wasting a ton of time, and just allow you to get to your goals a lot faster. So if you're interested in scaling on YouTube fast, click the first link in the description, speak with our team, see if it's a good fit. If not, all good. But you can learn a little bit more about what we do and if we can help you. So the last level that you need in order to get to 100K per month on YouTube is proper messaging and backend. So this is exactly what separates the people who get to 100K, 200K, 300K, 400K, 500K a month on YouTube from the people who stay stuck at 50K a month, 60K a month, 70K a month as they scale up. This is really rocket fuel for your YouTube channel and your business. And essentially what this comes down to is what you actually say in your videos. How are you installing these realities that make someone buy, right? Installing a reality is essentially a more advanced strategy that we have where it's basically building realities that help someone to purchase in their head while they watch the video. You could install the reality that, they can't do it on their own, that they're better off paying you, right? So you have these realities that you can install. And that's very important. You also just need proper language. You need to speak your prospect's language in these videos. What you also need to do is you need to have proper messaging in your actual titles and thumbnails, right? Using bank accounts from the actual banks that your prospects would use, using payment processors that your prospects would actually use. There's some really weird payment processors for some niches. I've learned that after working with a few of our guys. We have one guy who crushes it on YouTube. He's closing deals left and right. And he has a payment processor that he uses from it's like a therapy payment processor, right? So we have to use that specific payment processor because we need to make sure that his prospects identify that video and be like, oh, this video is for me. That's really what it comes down to. It's more about targeting at this higher level and also in the videos using language and basically convincing them to buy, right? Having really good copy. Same thing with the back end, making sure that your funnel is fully built out, making sure that you actually have great copy in your funnel, that you have all of these little things, right? That you have email sequences coming in, that you have setters going through the DMs, that you have a proper sales team in place that actually knows what they're doing and knows how to handle these kind of organic prospects, right? People say that organic prospects are easy to close, and they definitely are. They 100% are. But you need to know how to handle these calls because they're a lot different than ads calls, right? So making sure that you have a sales team that's trained on organic sales as well. And overall, just making sure you're dialed in, as a business owner. And there's a lot of more advanced kind of things that we like to test out with clients where we have some clients who run webinars, right? Some clients who do low ticket funnels, right? And build school groups and set from school group. That's how we get a lot of our clients as well, is we funnel people into our school group from organic and then we DM set through there, send them back, build email sequences out. We run something that we really like called a soap opera sequence. Really cool email sequence by Russell Brunson. Feel free to look it up. Great way to just make some extra cash from the leads that you're getting. And after you have these 4 levels, 100K a month kind of just comes to you, right? You don't have to go chase it and put all this effort into it, which is ideal because we don't want to be chasing it. We want it to feel easy. And there's actually a much more in-depth breakdown that I did on the free course funnel, which in my opinion is the best funnel to scale to 100K a month on YouTube right now. So watch this video next where I show you what it is, how it works, and how you can use it to absolutely blow up your business on YouTube and scale past 7 figures. Thanks and have a great day.